on, look out, and I get to see the glacier again.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, just normal Greenland things.
All the experts.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Greenland. We're around 60 degrees north and 35 degrees west, something like that. At our forestay, chain plate has broken. We officially crossed the Atlantic Ocean. How freaking cool is that?
Greenland has been beyond expectations, and I'm in love. It's beautiful. I would definitely want to come back. All right, let's get this anchor up. What are we bringing up today? Looks like a pile of kelp again. And this is our anchor today. It's a big stuff, so it's a little easier, right? It's a gorgeous day already. Saw a whale come up right next to me in the dinghy. And we've been doing all the stuff we usually do the night before. This morning, got up early. But it's still nice. It's calm at least. Yeah, it's time.
Every passage begins with a list of chores, checks, and preparations. These include an engine inspection, preparing meals, and downloading the latest weather. We also notify friends and family of our sail plan. Any passage like this begins with trepidation, and for us this was no exception, as we were about to embark on our first transatlantic crossing. We had over 1,200 miles of sailing ahead of us, but things were looking good.
All right, we're making our way out of here. There's a bit of ice, so we have Panda at the bow looking for potential icebergs. We're going in the sun, so it's a little bit hard to see.
Come on, look out, and I get to see the glacier again.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, just normal Greenland things.
All the icebergs are born.
Big old glacier where the icebergs are born.
Yeah, so we thought that we would avoid the field ahead because it's pretty full.
Yeah, so we'll head around on the north side and then proceed through.
We're on different sides of the
It seems so close. So we are approaching the famed weather station at the entrance of Prince Christiansen. It's a kind of a radio station, weather station. Looks like there's all sorts of antennas and I guess devices like that. And then it looks like there's a bunch of dormitories, fuel tanks, storage facilities. But what we gather is they abandoned the station like 4 or 5 years ago. I guess it used to be manned all the time. But I guess that's no longer the case. But the facilities are still here. There's still like a little dock and I guess some other things. So our friends on sailing vessel Svea and Hilma are here. So we're just gonna swing by, say hello, see what their plan is, and then we will head right out into the ocean and depart.
On our way out, we had a quick VHF chat with our friends to coordinate departure. They would be setting off just a few hours later, and a great feeling of camaraderie knowing we wouldn't be alone.
Yeah, we got 20 to probably 25 knots of wind. We're doing 6.5 knots over ground, which is wonderful. It's sunny. The advection fog looks like it lifted. So yeah, this is a hell of a departure day. Really good news. And we'll talk about a view from behind. There's Prince Christiansen. Goodbye, Greenland.
Men då har ni nog
Well, it's nice. Our Swedish friends are about 10 and 20 miles behind, so we're within VHF. So it's been fun chatting in the evening just to see how everyone's doing. They too did not expect this strong a wind and waves, but nonetheless everyone's persevering just fine, and it should die down through the night and that'll be much more manageable. But I tell you, it's a really tough start to a passage when you go from just sitting on a flat boat for almost 3 weeks to then 30 knots and like 4-meter swell. It's yeah, it's rough.
Getting in the rhythm of a passage is the hardest part. The first few days are tough, adjusting to the 4-on, 4-off sleep schedule, eating at random times of the day, and of course, getting used to the intense and relentless motion of the ocean. This first 80 miles or so, we were likely to encounter icebergs flowing down the east coast of Greenland. Leaving in the morning helped ensure we would make it out of that zone by nightfall and rest a little easier.
Hello, friends. I've had a really rough passage so far. It's day 2, and I spent most of my shifts just throwing up every hour, which is not like me. So it's been really rough to go from light winds in the fjords of Greenland to 30 knots of wind and over 3-meter waves. It was a really rough start, and now I know my limit, I guess. So I need to be eased into it. Usually I get just a little squishy the first few days, but this was unreal. So I'm super grateful that we have a team of 2, you know. Darren's awesome. He doesn't seem to be affected by it as much as I do. I know he's probably a little squishy, but he's able to eat whole meals and help me out too. So I'm always grateful for him being able to do that for me. So yeah, we're just cruising along, trying to get through the days and feel better each day.
Okay, well, I'm just waking up for my shift, and it's like, I don't know, in the evening sometime, 6 p.m. Time to make some food. So these are still a little rough, so can't like really make anything, but what we do is just assemble. So we have a bag of pre-done pasta, and we had some chili that, well, I combine into both. So it's kind of like a hamburger helper, chili pasta thing. And we even have cornbread. Look at that delicious cornbread. So take one of these, plop it right here. Like this. And we nuke it until it's warm. And that's it. That's dinner here on Panda in Passage Road. Today has been a lazy day. On my shift now, and is enjoying writing a social media post that we'll upload tonight about what we saw last night, which was the Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights. It was like the most spectacular night sky I think we've ever seen. So yeah, so she's writing some really good descriptive words about that. And general today has been pretty laid back. Alright, so the winds come up a little bit, increased to like 20 knots apparent. We have all the canvas out, so the lean is a little harsh and the bashing's a little harsh. So we're going to reduce some sail, flatten out the boat, and kind of slow us down just a little bit, make it a little more comfortable.
When the wind picks up, we perform an operation sailors call reefing the sails. The intent is to reduce the sail area so the boat doesn't get overpowered. It also helps to reduce the heel and in general keep things more comfortable. Every boat has a different procedure, but what we tend to do close hauled is to either reef or bring down the mizzen, followed by reefing the mainsail, and since our head sail is a smaller genoa, we can keep it out the longest, as it's most effective when not furled. For the mainsail, the first step is to attach our topping lift. This line keeps the boom supported while the sail is being reefed. We then make our way to the mainmast, where all the reefing lines are led. But first order of business is to stay connected to the boat with our tether. We let the sail down by releasing the clutch on the halyard and easing out the line. Sometimes we have to pause while there's a big wave set coming through and simply just hold on. It can get very dangerous working on the deck in big seas, and we certainly don't want to have an accident. Next, we release the 3 reefing lines and begin to wrestle the sail down. The grommet through the sail here, where the black line is attached, must be pulled over a horn at the base of the boom. This becomes the sail's new tack point in effect. Now we can take the first reefing line, the black one, and wench it tight. This brings the clew of the sail down to the far end of the boom. Last, we can now raise the sail by wenching the halyard back up, making it nice and tight again, almost like a drum. Last step is to sheet in the main, which stops it from luffing and powers the boat up once more.
Okay, you could sheet it in. It's much more comfortable. We are sailing to the center of a low, so I expect that the gribs are going to be wrong and that the wind forecast is going to be higher. I expect the waves will be higher, I expect more bashing. I don't think the next 24 hours will be very comfortable at all. Or the preceding 24 hours after that, because we'll just be doing the same thing on a different tack until we're out of the low in 2 days.
It's probably evident of my sour mood, as bashing into bad weather for the last few days has really taken its toll. Little did I know things were only going to get worse. The headsail did not look right, and upon inspection, found some bad news.
Right, our forestay chain plate is broken. It has kind of this U-bolt thing style here. This is totally separated. I don't think long before this separates. So we're gonna have to come up with some clever solution here to kind of keep it all situated and run the inner forestay. We have an inner forestay sail, and see what we can do, see if we can limp this along. Okay, so we have got our inner forestay set up, and you can see there's quite a bit of rake in the mast. So the next thing we'll do is we'll back off on our backstay tension and then tension the hell out of the spinnaker halyard and really get that mast centered once more. I'm rigging up like a secondary little safety line in case the forestay totally does separate. At least I think it'll keep it around this area and not just bashing around. So yeah, I'm doing a line to our bowsprit around our anchor roller, and it's gonna come back, and I'm gonna tension it on our windlass.
Of course, the forestay failed halfway across, upwind of our destination and out of motoring distance if the mast came crashing down. We were lucky it was just holding together, but barely.
Okay, that's the first shift for me with the rigged forestay, and so far it's holding up. We're not using the sail. We have tons of wind right now, like up to 25 knots. So we just have the inner forestay and the main and the mizzen. But yeah, so far so good, holding up. We have been averaging probably like 3.5 knots, sometimes doing like 4.5, even 5 when we hit the right wave set. Luckily the seas aren't too big for this wind. They're pretty rolly, but I am tired though. I didn't sleep before this shift. The bashing, and then both Pan and I were just too worried about the boat and our fix and if it would hold. But I'm pretty confident it'll hold in these sort of conditions. I mean, it already has held, so yeah. So we just keep sailing. That's all we can do. Keep sailing. All right, I really need to go to bed. Super tired.
Good morning. This is day 9. I think the sun is finally out again, and it makes me feel so good. It can get so oppressive when there's just clouds all day long for a few days, especially when you've been beating into the wind and there's such big massive waves coming at you that stalls your progress. It just makes you feel really depressed after a while. So it's really nice to have the sun out and it's making some more progress today as the wind is picking up currently as I speak and the waves are getting bigger. I cleaned the fridge from any smelly stuff that's starting to rot, unfortunately, because our fridge is broken and we kind of just turn it off at this point. It's taking a little too much power and there wasn't much sun. We get enough solar to keep it powered. So all the fresh stuff and all the stuff I'd made for this passage was pretty much bad. So now we've really run out of fresh food at this point. I think we have a couple oranges and apples left. And 1 pepper and onions and potatoes. We haven't seen a ship in like 9 days. It's been 10 days. So we've seen our first tanker and it's heading to Quebec. I don't know why it's exciting.
By this point in our passage, we were well into a routine, eating good meals, feeling more rested, and excited to make landfall as the miles ticked away. We knew the weather would play into our favor, and the chances now were minimal that we would find ourselves in any more nasty weather. We had some trepidation about our rig, not knowing if our fix would hold, but as we got closer to Scotland, we gradually pushed harder in excitement for our imminent arrival.
There she is. Look at that. We did it. Land ho. We officially crossed the Atlantic Ocean. How freaking cool is that? That's right, land ho.
Wow.
Yeah. We made landfall. Isn't it gorgeous?
It's amazing to make landfall after being at sea for so many days. It's beautiful.
It really is. That's awesome. We did it. Landfall. Hell yeah.
We are in the UK. We put our Q flag up for check-in, and Darren is on the yacht line to try and check us in and report our arrival. are just checking on our fuel level since we know it's super low, and we are going to probably be motoring most of the way in to Stornoway. So fingers crossed we have enough.
I think we have maybe a little less than a quarter tank, but it's at least 15 gallons, so it should be just fine to motor, because we only have about 6 hours of motoring, so it's going to be like 5 gallons, something like that. So it should be good. Well, we're making our final preparations for harbor entrance in Stornoway. This is Scotland, this is the Isle of Lewis, and we're just making our way to this town called Stornoway. It's in the harbor, so we're gonna go in the harbor. We decided we are going to get a slip at a marina for like a week, because they have all facilities like water, power, Wi-Fi, shower, and laundry. Amanda and I just figured it has been 7 months since we've had a hot shower. So 7 months since we had really a proper shower. I mean, down in the Caribbean is fine because we just jump in the water. But up here we boil a little kettle of hot water and do kind of like a sponge bath with a towel. So it works, but it'll be nice to stand under some hot water. Oh my gosh, really looking forward to that.
So we're just coming into the harbor now, like into the marina proper. It is a beautiful day, and we're just trying to figure out where we go. And we're coming into like a castle. So cool.
We did it. We successfully docked here in Stornoway. So we have Panda. She's filling out all of our customs and immigration forms. And yeah, this is such a cool town. It is really quiet and peaceful, and this like little slip here is just awesome.
That's that huge bag you got out there.
Yeah.
You need all these shots, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
just making
please.
sure.
Yeah.
Hope I filled them out all the
No.
time. I feel like paperwork's always like that. You're
Yeah.
like a desk game.
All right, Ross.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much. Cool. All right.
Cheers.
Beers. Yes. Oh my God. Have we earned those? And look, we can turn our navigation off.
Are you blurry the whole time?
You're getting radiated right now. By my love.
I think it's just squeaks on the boat, but I think I hear crickets. I'm starting to get tired of snacking. I never thought I would say that.
I guess we're fun to play with. We're like a little jungle gym out here.